So our saltbox topic today, we felt as though we were going to go ahead and kind of continue what we had talked about last time. Let's talk about the People's First Hurricane Recovery Programs, which is for Pinellas County. Okay.
Yes.
So Stephanie, I know you there were different certain parts of this, and we're going to explain kind of there's 5 working parts of it that you could qualify for regarding the type of assistance. But each one of the programs, I feel like some of them we've heard about in individual capacities. But
yeah, I think I think that there's rumors out there about all of them and then whether or not you would be eligible for it. So one of the things that is fair to note that if you live in St. Petersburg, they operate separately from Pinellas County for a variety of different reasons, mainly because of their just sheer population, truthfully, and needing to have their own local government in a larger scale than what the rest of Pinellas County is needed. So everyone else would be, but they have their own programs. But in Pinellas County specifically, there's 5 programs, and these are going back to Adalia, Ian, Helene, and
Milton. Yeah.
Milton. I was like, what was that?
Actually surprised that Adalia was on there, but only because it was 2023.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it probably, well, I mean, there's definitely like Shore Acres, but that might fall under St. Pete, but that I think that also falls.
And then you kind of think about like South St. Pete too. Like what about Coquina Key and, down there near the districts. But I just want to, before we completely move on, you made a really good point to say, if you live in St. Petersburg, there's special allocation funds through them of Sunrise St. Pete that you can apply for. And I want to be clear though, that if you go to this website and enter your address, which we're going to give you that information shortly, if you do live in unincorporated Pinellas, but it says St. Petersburg address, you still qualify. So you really have to make sure per your address whether or not this is something that you can qualify for. So any other city or town in Pinellas County besides St. Petersburg, including unincorporated Pinellas. Okay.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's right.
There's a lot of people in
and there's actually, to like what you're saying, there's a way to just type in your address to see what happens. Yeah. And it'll tell you right away. But so there's 5 programs in Pinellas County. There's a variety of ones. There's homeowner rehabilitation reconstruction. So that's obviously
I'll be your Vanna. There we go.
What was that?
I'll be your Vanna. Homeowner rehabilitation reconstruction.
Yep, construction. So that's obviously funding to repair, rebuild, or replace the hurricane damaged homes.
Yes.
And then that one, like as a quick, it goes up to $375,000.
Oh, wow.
To make it safe again. It has to be your primary residence that you've lived when the storms were damaged. And it has to be with the owners of a traditional single family and actually manufactured or mobile homes.
Right.
And these are like really high level overview of the programs, but this website's super friendly to kind of start the application and explore it.
So
the second one,
the website too, just to kind of mention, because we keep referencing, is recover.pinellas.gov. So what we're talking about is recover.pinellas.gov. But if you type into any search where it's People First Hurricane Recovery Pinellas, you're going to find it. People First Pinellas, you'll find it. I promise you. Yeah. And so there are caseworkers that are available. There's contact information below. You can actually show up to 2 locations, one in Park Street off of St. Pete in St. Petersburg, ironically. Sorry, I think that's so ironic. And then another one in Clearwater, actually. But keep going. Sorry, just wanted to make sure the website is the recover.pinellas.gov.
Yeah. And then the other one is the homeowner reimbursement. So reimbursement for repair work you've already completed. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
And this is kind of what we were talking about last week too. If you've already done it, even completely permitted, it doesn't mean the show's over. Look and see what you might qualify for.
Yep. And that's for up to $50,000. And that's kind of falls under those after the fact letters that some of us have gotten, just saying like, hey, we know you got this done. We just need to, and that's up to $50,000. So, and then the third one is a local landlord program. And that's just to support some of the landlords for repairing, rebuilding properties that were that rent as affordable housing. So Section 8 or other grants that are available out there so that they can get that rebuilt for some of the people that might have had everything wiped out that are renters too. So so that's where we're going, I think. And
Yeah,
that
the
one is,
local landlord program though is separate from the like disaster relief reimbursement, right? So the
yeah, because
landlord is
the
the
other one
property
is,
owner.
you have to have primary
Yeah,
residency.
yeah.
So
So
they're just making sure you go into the right bucket.
yeah, and like Stephanie mentioned, the local landlord program regarding the repair or the rebuild, this comes with a stipulation that you agree to work with types of income housing. And so, but again, to get back on your feet, what is it? Money in the hand is worth
Yeah.
more than the bush or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
No, that's right. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have to replace the roof or anything, and that's up to 375,000 as well.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Oh, four.
well, I'm going to skip over to the disaster release
Okay,
reimbursement.
we'll come back to four. We're on five.
Yeah, because we have a little bit more information on that one. The
True.
disaster relief reimbursement is for
Yes.
essential disaster related to expenses such as rent, mortgage, and utilities. So if you were
Yes.
to missed out on the ability to pay some of your bills, essentially,
Yes.
is that would be able to help you with that, and that's up to $15,000 because whether it's you didn't get 6 months, you can get up to reimbursed for up to 6 months of expenses, including rent, mortgage, and utility payments.
And I want to personally, I know so many people that were displaced that had to take advantage of the hotel vouchers, right?
Yeah,
The government, funding that allowed people to stay in the hotels here because that was the only housing because they had lost all their housing. There, keep in mind too, there was a lot of us that had to be displaced into short-term housing, meaning like a 3 month, a 6 month, a 9 month. There's still some people right now that are riding out what should have been their fully furnished short-term rental because they're still resolving everything with their primary residence.
that's right.
So if you paid rent for these situations, this could be something that you could requalify for
Totally.
reimbursement. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of renters that that should be looking this up. And I'll know now if you don't listen to my podcast, friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But no, yeah,
And
that's really
then,
important. I
so
like
the
how you did
last
that.
one is the home buyer assistance. So that's help for income eligible home buyers to purchase a safe home outside flood zone. So
Outside flood zone.
yeah, so that one's up to 80,000 to help storm impacted residents buy a home in Pinellas. If you live in Pinellas County at the time of hurricanes and you're struggling to find a home you can afford to purchase,
Right.
there's a lot of applications out there that are not necessarily this driven where like first time buyers, but this would be someone that hasn't, that is struggling just to find themselves a home that they can afford to purchase.
Correct.
We're offering help for income eligible people who want to transition from renting to home ownership. So if they're like, yeah,
Right.
we just can't deal with this again. I mean, it could be that you lost everything because
Yeah.
you're a renter and then you decided to buy and you think that just buying might be the way to go. This is another one that you could do. And I just was working with some clients that had explored this route, and there's some hefty stipulations on it. As I was telling Caitlin earlier, that there's some
Yeah.
hefty stipulations on it, but like the benefits, I mean, you're moving somewhere and you're going to stay there for 5+ years. It's actually a really good program. And anyone that's going to offer you money doesn't always just come for free, right? Like there has to be some
A caveat.
ties and
Like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
It has to be still your primary residence and you're not going to turn around and flip
Well,
it.
at the end of the day, it's the government where the money's coming from, right? Saying, prove to us that it was worth our investment in this.
Yes.
Make it worth our while,
Yeah.
essentially, or make it make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a lot of ways, it's no different than someone like that had to obtain an SBA loan to kind of just get through things.
Correct.
And
Yep.
just like an SBA loan, which is more of a small business loan, they go through everything with yours. We had one for everyone was given one practically during COVID, right? And so there's
I
a
think
certain
anybody
process.
could have signed up for one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a small business,
Just kidding. I mean, a lot of people did. Yeah.
you just didn't know, like you didn't know what the future was, and so everyone was signing up for these small business loans through SBA. So when I read some of the requirements, that's what it reminded me of, is this is almost like an SBA but to your personal life, to make sure that
But with that, and like any loan, collateral. That's what I'm kind of saying is the government says, prove that we're making a good choice here. And we should just think of it that it comes from the goodness of their hearts. But at the same time, we can't just go hemorrhaging money around too. It's interesting to me that they will. Well, true. But it's, you have to, for the purchase of a home within Pinellas. Now, here's the other thing. You have the home itself that they're looking to give the money to. And if you don't know, you don't know. But the purchase of the property has to be in Pinellas County. Right. I couldn't take this assistance from being affected by the hurricane and buy a house in Georgia.
No. Okay. I mean, well, even if we were to say like Pasco or Polk, which is near us.
Right. Within the metropolitan area.
Yeah, I'm sure that they have their own programs that they that are similar to that. I'm sure that,
of course, they want to keep their taxpayers in their tax-paying area, right? So that makes sense. My other question is that, okay, again, regarding the collateral, okay, there is I know it's a scary word, but a lien.
Yes.
That is placed upon the property.
Yes.
And for 5 years, you cannot sell that property without writing that lien.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yes. Now, is there interest accruing? Do you know that?
So from what I understand, that it's a 20%, it's a forgivable 5-year mortgage.
Okay.
That reduces at a rate of 20% each year. So no payments are required. But I would imagine that there's got to be, well, there wouldn't be interest. But what would happen is that if you decided like, well, let's just say life happens, right? And you have to move state or like you're whatever, like life happens and you have to move out of state or out of the county or whatever. I would imagine you have to pay that back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to clear the deck. Yes. So if you make payments down and you still owe 50, but if you're, and that was my other question, is it because it says that the applicant must be able to obtain a first mortgage commitment for a minimum of 30-year fixed rate mortgage from a lending institution. Yeah. So this money is actually considered possibly a second mortgage commitment?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm so glad that you know so much.
You don't take the precedent over the mortgage.
No. But my question is that payment, is that part of the portion of the payment that you're making towards your first mortgage? Or is that just accruing the whole time and then you have a balloon payment that's due at the end? I would assume that you can pay it down, right? Like, why can't I pay it down? So if I sell in 3 years, I only owe 30 grand of the 80 grand that I borrowed.
Those are some details I am not 100% sure about, but I'm sure that.
But see, and it's okay. And I'm sorry, I just peppered you like, but these are the questions that I have to assume other people are going to have. And honey, if we don't know the answer to it, you got to go find it just like us.
Yeah, you're going to, I mean, I think that you have to start that application process and it's, and sometimes anytime you buy a home and you have to go through a mortgage process, whether it's conventional or FHA or anything,
right?
I mean, it's invasive and you feel a little violated.
Yeah, you're like, I want to show you everything, right?
Yeah, because they're just asking for information. But, I have seen so we see a lot of things when they go through the mortgage process, right? It's like, the first thing that you tell someone when they're starting to look for a home and then they actually have a contract in hand, as we say, don't buy anything.
Right.
Don't buy anything that ruins your credit. Like, turn your credit off. Like, nothing can be run. Don't do it. But we've seen quite a few things. Like, I have seen personally, I've seen people that realized that they didn't realize they were still married. I've seen people realize that they actually got married.
And what kind of Ross and Rachel Friends episode have you been working in where members they don't remember they got married in Vegas and Ross lies to her that the divorce paperwork and then she finds out she's still married?
I approach real estate like I approach life. Well, at least I learned some stuff with that.
It sounds like a telenovela, like
Yeah.
soap opera.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah, I mean, one was like, I didn't even know I was married. I got married in drunk stupor one night and I didn't even know. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so, but we find out and we see a lot of things in real estate,
That's
but,
true.
but even outside of those crazy stories, like crazy stories, there, you, you, you have to you feel like you're actually like signing off on your next of kin, and that's just the way it is. It's what happens is like it's invasive. Divorces get brought up, like everything gets brought up because they have to understand your financial history. The thing that I learn more as I get older is that history teaches everyone about everyone. So you can always predict. So financial institutions will look at your financial history because it's the best predictor of what your future is going to be.
Not that we didn't know that, tarot card reader Stephanie, but like, yeah, yeah. But I mean, here's the thing: first day, every new day is a new day. Like, if your credit's whack and you have not been adulting, like, wake up today and let's
Start
take the
over.
first step.
Are you kidding me? It's
But
easy.
that is a whole nother soapbox topic that we need to have a credit intervention with older millennials. I don't know about, is Gen X, are you all there yet? Because I feel like I encounter some daily where I'm like, how have you made it this far?
Yes.
Yeah, how have you made this far and you're not wearing Velcro shoes and someone comes in and dresses you? I don't understand.
Yes, this is a whole nother saltbook topic, but ultimately that's what they're doing is they're looking at your financial history, and sorry that it gets a little dirty at times. But anyway,
it's like you hear the snapping of a glove, basically. It's going to happen. They got to look, okay? So, few guidelines I wanted to make sure to say is that you're absolutely right.
roll it in.
Max award, $80,000. Duplication of benefits. So, you're talking about the chickadee checks, the checks, right? Duplication of benefits will be checked for all properties. You cannot get financial assistance from other state or other federal programs for the same work. So they're going to cross check to make sure, right? Also, the homeowner who receives the assistance must agree, this is what we were talking about, to occupy the property for as their primary residence for 5 years, which means you also in the state of Florida have to maintain homestead on your taxes and insurance coverage. So obviously, I mean, if you're getting a loan, they're going to make sure that you can get insurance.
I mean, I guess if you pay off your mortgage in that time frame, that's what they're referencing.
I guess so, but not. They said you got to stay insured and also maintain your homestead exemption, which okay, and that is to prove that it is in fact your primary residence. It also says, because we were talking about payments earlier, the home buyer must agree to a forgivable 5-year mortgage that reduces at a rate of 20% each year.
Oh, okay. There's
so that's how she goes down. Okay. It's not actually you paying back the money, which is, I don't know why that's literally how we were talking about it earlier.
3 would probably
What's
only
wrong with me? So 20% per year, it goes down till she gone. That makes sense. 5 years.
20, 40, 60, 81. Okay.
And it says that no payments will be required as long as the home buyer resides in the home for the 5 years. So
that's fair. I think that's fair.
So if you live there for 3 years, that's 20% reduction per year. That's 60%. So if you have to move when shit hits the fan, you only have to pay 40% back.
Okay, call Caitlin if you want to know if you can get out how much you're going to owe, because she's already figured out the math.
I do too much paperwork. I do too many contracts every day.
Too much math right now. I can't follow you.
I'm getting better, but it still has to be round numbers. I'm not like Rain Man yet, where it's just like, I can't.
562 pickup.
You throw me a number like $837,538. Go fuck yourself. Like I can't do it. 20%. I don't know. So yeah, guys. Yeah.
I think that's a great program, and it actually goes up by how many people you have in your house.
True. And again, on the recover.pinellas.gov website, People First Hurricane Recovery Programs, all 5 programs.
Well, you had mentioned before, and I think I kind of took us on a little bit of a off topic because I was worried about people's financial invasiveness that they were going to feel. But the bottom line is that they're saying that you have to be able to get pre-approved for a mortgage, and that will be a
Yes.
successfully initiated mortgage without the fact that you're getting the 80,000. So it's not like you can sit there and go, oh, well, then we can our budget's 500, so now we can buy 580.
Yeah, no, good point. That was, I'm glad that you made that clear, because yeah, there would be some people that walked away, including me. That means like, okay, so 250,000 plus 80. No,
or I could use it as a down payment. Don't have to worry about a down payment. No.
Well, maybe I could use that down payment on my new Chevy truck that I'm going to buy while we're under contract.
Because you're down by the river.
Like, Chad, no purchases during contract. Jesus. Oh, God. All right. Well, okay, I promise.
That's cool. So there's 5 programs: homeowner rehabilitation, homeowner reimbursement, local landlord program, home buyer assistance, and disaster relief reimbursement. Check them out.
Exactly. And before we just get right back off our saltbox, friendly reminder, not only Helene and Milton, but Adelia. So anybody that was affected by Adelia in 2023, these programs are actually available to you.
Adelia was a little crazy. We flooded in
the business.
I mean, but it wasn't a bad flood, but it was a little crazy.
So you know what? It actually came up in the yard. I'm remembering now. It came up in the yard, and it came up in the street, because I remember, I think I had my I might have had my car like parked sideways in the driveway so that my butt wasn't hanging where the water was coming up. And so I'm pretty sure we stayed for that.
Yeah. I mean, most people did, really. Most people did. It wasn't because I don't remember, but it wasn't one of those storms that people vacated. But anyway.
Well, here's the thing. I was looking, so I had to Google to make sure that we could remember the date in which it actually was. There's a few still graphics, right, that are from the Adelia, where it shows the hurricane, and it shows the band where it comes up 3 3 3 2 1 1 when it goes over the panhandle or whatever. And honestly, its path looks scarily similar to Helene, and I'm like, I will never look at another one again, because I didn't even evacuate for Adelia. I'm pretty sure, Trent, strike me down, tell me I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we didn't evacuate for Adelia, because I'm looking at this path in which it took, and I'm like, now that's the same. It's the same. Now, obviously, I'm not a meteorologist. Dennis, make it make sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's never going to be the same. I'm never going to treat any of these the same again.
No, you
along
probably
with many of other people. A lot of people. Yeah. Oh, we were literally locking the shutters and locking the doors for Ian when it made that right jerk turn and decided to park prematurely at Fort Myers down there.
Yeah,
we that was standing in our living room for that.
Everyone was evacuating for that, and we've discussed this before. I live a couple miles inland, and a couple miles can be saving grace all the time. But
even though you're surrounded by water,
though you're surrounded by water and have water,
riddle me that,
But the interesting thing about Ian, and because it was supposed to head straight to us, it really was, and is that there was a level of guilt that we didn't get hit.
100%. No, 100%. 100%.
I mean, I didn't need to experience it and I feel so guilty, please put me through it. I mean,
another thing is think about if we had already been affected, hypothetically, if we had been affected before Ian, the way that they were down there, the way that we were for Helene, the guilt. Now, moving forward, I feel like as a survivor from what we've been through too, we will incur that. We have to, and it's not a survivor's guilt necessarily, but it kind of is.
Well, it's remember Jamaica? Jamaica made me so emotional.
Oh, we were so emotional. You were very emotional.
I was very emotional about that because it was just all they can do. I mean, and that's in a country that has two classes, we're set up high and low, right? I mean,
we're set up the best we can be here in a first world country, and it's then you think something similar is about to hit this tiny little island that the infrastructure is nothing like we have here.
Yes.
It's very real now because we see what it can do to first world infrastructure.
That's right.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so,
Holy
but
shit.
yeah, no, I think that that's right. So, well, anyway, so we'll wrap this up by saying that there are programs out there still, and there's
Yes.
money to be
Take
got. And
take
I
the
know
help in hand.
paperwork isn't easy. I know paperwork isn't easy. I get that.
No, but you know what?
Got an
There's
adult sometimes. Got to be an adult.
we have to adult sometimes. And again, there's
No one
contact
wants to be.
information at the bottom of the nobody wants to be. There's contact information at the bottom of the page, and actually there are caseworkers. So there will be
Yes.
somebody that'll be able to help you with your
Yes.
specific case. So it's not like you'll call back to the 1-800 number forever and you'll always get a new person.
Yeah.
I would assume maybe there's like 20 caseworkers that'll share all the files, but at the same
For
time,
sure.
there will be a log and you won't have to go through all the buttons of like press 9 if you know your
That's,
party's extension, right?
even if you just start that application, I'm sure it'll tell you whether or not you're eligible or not. So we encourage.
And someone will probably reach out to you. So yeah, make sure you take advantage where you need it and don't be too proud to reach back for help. You know what
That's,
I mean? Even if you've gotten on the other side and now you're realizing that you've spread yourself too thin, it's not too late.
no, it's not.
Make sure that you're set up for success, especially going into another hurricane season, guys.